Our story picks up with Alizeh, the long-lost Jinn queen, living in the Tulanian palace and waiting to marry King Cyrus. Except, it's a total mess. Cyrus has just gone through this brutal magical blood oath with her, and he is not okay. He's hallucinating, convinced he's in hell, and every time he sees Alizeh, he thinks she's some kind of avenging angel and basically screams at her to get out. So he locks himself away for days, leaving Alizeh completely in the dark, feeling abandoned and looking like a fool to the entire kingdom as their wedding gets postponed again and again. She's the prophesied savior of her people. But right now, she's just a girl sitting in the castle kitchen, stitching her own wedding clothes while the staff gawks at her like she's a zoo animal. Making things even weirder, the palace has turned into a scene from a bizarre fairy tale gone wrong. There are roses growing out of the walls, swarms of locusts, spiders dangling from every doorway, and even a snow leopard showing up with an apricot in its mouth. Alizeh has a gut feeling this is all connected to Cyrus, but she has no idea what to do. Her friend Dean finally gives her the push she needs, telling her to stop waiting for permission and just go help the guy. So, in what is officially my favorite scene, Alizeh marches up to Cyrus's room and literally breaks the door down. And the sight inside is a lot. He's shirtless, he's clearly in agony, and he's been pacing his room like a caged tiger. The second she enters, you see the magical torture of the blood oath just stop. The relief hits him so hard, he collapses on the bed, finally able to rest. You see, the oath means they're magically tethered. Her proximity is the only thing that eases his pain. So the fact that he was actively choosing excruciating agony over being near her? Red flag? No, that's a whole parade of red flags. The wedding morning is just as tense. He finally emerges from a bath wearing nothing but a towel, and let's just say Huda, Alizeh's fiery best friend, has a moment. Alizeh, bless her heart, has handmade his entire wedding outfit, a stunning ensemble she poured all her pain and hope into. And what does he do? He looks her dead in the eye and says, "No, thank you." He wants to wear black, he says, to his own funeral. My heart broke for her. He walks out, leaving her completely shattered. At the ceremony, which is held in this insane magical glass sphere floating in the sky, he's just struck silent by how beautiful she is in her ice blue gown. You can feel the tension, the pining, the absolute torture he's putting himself through. But just as they're officially married, bam! The devil himself, Iblis, hijacks Alizeh's brain, whispers a creepy riddle calling her the bride of Iblis, and she just screams in terror. After that disaster, you'd think they could catch a break, but no. Huda throws a surprise party, and Cyrus is back to being a silent statue, while Cameron, the Ardunian prince who thinks he's Alizeh's real fiancé, is being his usual possessive self. Cyrus can't take it anymore and just walks out. Alizeh, at her breaking point, follows him, and they have this massive soul-bearing fight in his rooms. He finally cracks, yelling about how he can't stand being near her when he knows her heart belongs to Cameron, when he has to watch another man touch her. He all but confesses that he's in love with her, and the raw anguish is just wow. But before they can get anywhere, Omid bursts in with a passed-out Dean, and we find out there was an assassination attempt on Alizeh. Dean intercepted a poison drink meant for her and got stabbed for his trouble. Cyrus instantly shifts into protector mode and finds a hidden magical message on the blade: cease your search. This confirms their worst fears. Their enemies know they're going to the legendary Arya Mountains to unlock Alizeh's magic, and they have to leave immediately. The journey on Dragonback is intense. Cyrus secretly fights off a team of enemy riders, breaking his back in the process and healing himself with magic, all while Alizeh is asleep and has no idea. They arrive at a secret Jinn military outpost in Ardunia and are met by Kamran's mother, Princess Firuze, who is an absolute firecracker of a woman with zero filter. There, Alizeh finally meets her people, 1,000 Jinn soldiers who have been waiting for her for years. She gives this incredibly powerful speech that had me in tears, vowing to be the queen they deserve. It's a huge moment for her, finally stepping into her power. But the personal drama is far from over. She and Cyrus are given a tiny one-room cottage to share, with a single bed. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. That night leads to their most devastating confrontation yet. She's trying to understand why he pushes her away, and he finally lays it all on the table. He tells her point blank, "No man alive has ever loved a woman the way that I love you," but he'd rather die than disgrace them both with what he sees as a one-sided performance of his heart. He then proceeds to sleep on the floor by the door every night for 5 days, barely speaking to her. The pain. Finally, Cyrus announces he's found the entrance to the magical part of the mountain. They enter a cave that acts as a series of trials. First, Alizeh's blood is required, which unlocks the next step, but also brings another terrifying visit from Iblis. Then, she's thrown into a solo trial where she has to face her deepest traumas before proving her hope is stronger than her despair. The final test is a massive door that can only be opened by the knocks of 5 honorable souls willing to die for her. Hazan, Huda, Omid, and Dean all pass with flying colors. But when Cameron knocks, nothing happens. Cyrus, in a moment of cold fury, reveals why. Cameron knew his grandfather planned to have Alizeh murdered back in Ardunia and did nothing to stop it. Ouch. As Cameron sputters, Cyrus, fed up, just walks toward the door, and it explodes open before he even touches it, proving his sacrifice is the most powerful of all. Inside, the real weirdness begins. They're in a landscape literally woven from magical threads, but Cameron, now spiraling, makes a terrifyingly good point. Isn't it a little too convenient that Cyrus, the guy working for the devil, is the one who solves every problem? That he's the one with all the answers and impossible powers? He accuses Cyrus of orchestrating the whole thing to steal Alizeh's magic for himself. And as everyone argues, Cyrus is hit with the most horrifying realization of all. The devil's taunts echo in his head, and he finally sees the full picture. Every task Iblis gave him, killing King Zal, finding the magic, marrying Alizeh, it was never about Tulin. It was always about her. Iblis has played him like a fiddle, maneuvering him into a perfect checkmate. His wedding vow forces him to protect Alizeh from all harm, but his deal with the devil forces him to lead her to her magic, which he now knows will bring her harm. If he protects her, he forfeits the deal and millions die. If he helps her, he breaks his vow and dies, also forfeiting the deal. No matter what, he loses. And this brings us back to where we started. Knowing he's trapped, Cyrus makes one last desperate move. He gives Alizeh a truth-discerning magical object and confesses everything. He tells them about his family's century-old debt to Iblis, how his father was taken to purgatory, and how he took on the impossible bargain to save his people. The devil's price for helping Tulin thrive? To one day possess the body of the Tulanian king. As he confesses, the penalty for breaking his vow of silence to the devil kicks in, and he turns to stone, collapsing to the ground. His lifeless body is then ripped into the sky, and from a dark cocoon, he reemerges. But it's not him. It's Iblis, wearing his face, and he has come to claim his prize, Alizeh. But there's a twist. Iblis can't actually harm her because Cyrus's soul is still inside, fighting, and his magical vows are still active, acting as a shield. So Iblis is just waiting for Cyrus to finally die. But he underestimates our girl. Alizeh, filled with a righteous fury, taps into her own raw magic. She summons a dagger, walks right up to the devil wearing her husband's face, and stabs him straight through the heart. She then proceeds to torture Iblis, repeatedly healing the wound and stabbing him again, threatening to keep him in this mortal prison of pain forever unless he agrees to a new deal. Broken, Iblis swears to release Cyrus, his father, and all of Tulin from the bargain before he's violently expelled. But it's too late. The blood oath tether is gone. Cyrus is dead. Alizeh collapses over his body, weeping and pouring all her newfound power into him, begging him to come back. And just as the magical world crumbles around them, he whispers her name. He opens his eyes, and his first words to her are, "Angel, you saved me." So Cyrus is back, and they've literally been through hell and back for each other. But where do they even go from here? The ancient bargain is broken, but so is the blood oath that tied them together. Is love enough to build a future on, especially when the whole world still wants them dead? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you love this recap, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.